How do I describe my G-Man, my Gannon? Gannon's my hero. I love him so much. He's not only my hero, he has multiple people that call him his hero as well. He has so many family members that just look up to him at such a small age. He's full of life. He's happy. He's energetic. He loves sports. He loves Sonic. He loves going outside, playing with his friends, his sister, his neighbor, especially Braden. This neighborhood basically gives you a true example of who my son is. Everybody coming together, all the smiles that people have. This is why I have hope, because I feel it. This is Gannon truly speaking to our community. Gannon he loves blue, he loves Sonic, he's into coding, he loves riding his bicycle with his sister, and I know that he's missing that right now. He holds his job as being Big Bubba very important, and for him not to be able to talk to his sisters has to be hurting him. This week has been awful. It's been more than a roller coaster ride. It's been more than emotional mess. I don't even have answers for my feelings other than I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I'll never hear his voice, that I'll never hear him run and say, "Mommy," that I'll never hear those corny jokes that he always tells every single day. He has to tell me a joke. He looks forward to telling me something silly. And I'm afraid that I may never see that again or hear it. I don't want to believe that, because that means that I'm giving up hope, and I'm not giving up hope because my son is full of hope. So I'm urging anyone that has any leads, credible leads, if you're too afraid because you know something, a kid just doesn't disappear and no one sees him. It's not how this works. So if you have anything that's credible, if you're afraid, don't worry about it. Imagine my son, how afraid he is. Imagine how afraid Gannon is. So please call, please write. If you need to have someone else to do it for you, please do. Because my son deserves to be here. He deserves to be here. Please call the El Paso Sheriff's County and let them know. And I thank you guys, the community, for what you've done, because this is Gannon. This is who he is. And I thank you guys so much.
When Gannon was born, he weighed only 1 pound and 6 ounces, and even today he's still our miracle child. He still is, and he's such a happy child, and he just brings life to every party. His smile, even today, is keeping us going. His infectious smile brings me joy every time I think about it. The past 8 days have been, as Landen said, a roller coaster of emotions. Sometimes we jump in for joy because we get an information that we might think is a break in the case, and then the next minute we get we see something or get information that just breaks our heart into a million pieces again. But through all this, just know that your thoughts and your prayers and your messages, keep them coming, because even if we don't respond, we are receiving them, and that has given us strength to get through this. And I do want to say I'm so proud of Lena, my little baby girl here, and of Landen, my children's mother. They've been so strong through this, stronger than I would have ever thought that I could have ever been, and I'm getting straight from them as well. As I said, please keep sending your thoughts and your prayers, because we are receiving them. And if you have any information at all that could help, please reach out to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office with only credible information, but any information that you think may help. Thank you so much. Your turn.
I love you, Baba.
Hey guys, I'm Fancy.
I'm Colleen.
And this is Murder by Design. So, welcome back to our Friday night Gone Cold series. I love doing these because I feel like these cases are cases that so badly need recognition. We started off with a pretty popular one, Madeline McCann. We will be doing more on Madeline, but I really feel like we want to make sure that we cover some of these smaller cases that are not, and it's not to say smaller, but smaller as in they're not getting as much coverage. They're not as publicized because of whatever reasons. And I really want to make sure these cases specifically are cases that we cover and we talk about, so that way they get the attention that they need to maybe help some of these people get justice.
Might get some recognition out there. So this week we're going to be talking about a really recent case of a missing boy. His name is Gannon Stauch. Right. And this is a Colorado one. And another case that we're going to be covering, which is Olivia Gant, that is also a Colorado one. So there's a lot going on in Colorado right now.
This is an 11-year-old boy who has been missing since January 27th of this year, from Lorson Ranch at the southeast edge of Colorado Springs.
And my mom and siblings actually live in Colorado Springs. And my mom's husband is in the military, which Gannon's dad is in the reserves. So very hits close to home for me. But it really is a disturbing case. So Gannon, he was reported missing on January 27th by his stepmom, Leticia Stauch, who said Gannon left to go to a friend's house in the afternoon. And unfortunately, the authorities called him a runaway when it first asked the public to help find him. Then the sheriff announced on January 30th that Gannon was considered a missing and endangered child because at the time he had been gone, his age, and his reliance on prescribed medications.
I don't understand why you would expect that an 11-year-old would be a runaway.
Well, and to label that out in the public right away, be like, yep, he ran away. No, ask the public's help, and this kid is missing. That's all you have to say. You don't have to say,
I don't even care if he ran away. At 11, I don't give a shit if he ran away. He's still missing, he still needs to be found. He's 11. It's not like he's 16 or 17 or 15 even, that I get. Okay, yeah, then maybe they label him a runaway, blah, 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 but he's 11. Regardless, he can't take care of himself. He's 11.
He's autistic. He's an endangered boy. He went, and I can't explain to all of you, and I will try, the amount of deception and lies and destruction that has been happening in this boy's life. And just in the few weeks since he's been missing, kind of what has been happening with the family and why, and I'm going to say it, stepmom did it. That's my speculation at this point.
Yeah, I know, but
it's sad.
So he was reportedly last seen January 27th by his stepmother, who told investigators that he left for a friend's house between 3:15 and 4 p.m., and he did not return home. Gannon was born with a low birth weight. He was a micro-preemie, and he is 11 years old, and he's reported to be on special prescribed medications for autism.
Those medications aren't released publicly, so we don't know exactly what medications he was on, but just that he relies on these prescribed medications.
Right. And one of the things that stands out to us is that, he was supposedly going to a friend's house between 3:15 and 4 p.m., but Gannon did not attend school the day he disappeared, according to law enforcement officials. So where was he? Was he at a doctor's appointment? Was he homesick? Was he dead? Was he missing?
All the above at this point. So like I said, Gannon's dad, Albert Stauch, he's a member of the Colorado Springs-based Colorado Army National Guard and the 100th Missile Defense Brigade. And the boy's father, he was away on military training at the time of the disappearance, so he's not a suspect in this disappearance because he was not there. And his actual biological mom is not considered a suspect in this because she actually lives in South Carolina, and she only came to Colorado on the 28th to speak to authorities and to help find her son. which she shares custody with the father. So really the only person left here is the stepmom.
Unless something happened to him, you know, where he was taken. But oh, okay. So that leaves the stepmom. And on that same day, a neighbor captured surveillance video, which appears to show Gannon getting in the truck. The neighbor told the news the truck belonged to Leticia. And so stepmom is seen on neighbor's security cam leaving with him and coming back without him about 4 hours later.
So her official statement was that on Saturday night, Gannon was helping her unload in the garage, and he cut his foot because there was a lot of tools because his dad does woodworking. In my opinion, I don't think he ever hurt his foot. I think it was just a little ploy to explain any blood evidence that was found. They go, yeah, that happened. No, covering her tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, you are automatically trying to explain why blood is in your garage. That's the first thing you're doing.
Right. And then she's saying that he sat on the edge of the car and they bandaged it up and he was good to go. And he always loves helping his dad in the garage build things like his Lego tables and the flower pot they built for her as a gift. And after this, she noticed that Gannon kept going to the side of the house. He told me he was checking to see if the gate was locked because he was the only one with a gate key, and it made him proud to be the man of the house while Albert was away. I don't know. I think she's just covering her tracks. Like, basically anywhere there would be blood. So she's just trying to say, well, yeah, if there's blood on the car, that's because of this foot. Oh, there's blood over there on the side of the house. It's because of his foot. I mean, it's his foot. It's his foot.
Well, so fast forward the next day. So this kid cuts his foot so badly that there is a trail of blood evidence. So the next day they go on a hike. Like, what? And then they go shopping on Monday, which on Monday he didn't go to school. So you took him shopping. If kid's sick, you aren't taking them out shopping. And so I'm sorry, this is just really hard for me to comprehend what this mother did. So she says that please don't think for a second that there isn't enough of technology to determine shadows and movement around the truck. There was also proof from my phone that we had taken a selfie in the truck in our driveway that was time-stamped. We always send pictures to Albert when we are out and about or when he is away. That can be scanned for actual time verification. Last, from day one, the sheriff's office has known a description of the person/friend whom Gannon left with. So she's trying to explain, like, oh, there's this selfie. That means I didn't do it.
This reminds me of Madeleine McCann's parents in the fact that they immediately started, like, alibying themselves and like trying to say, you know, like, I did this and I did that and there was this and there was that. This reminds me of when they start right away with the alibi, you know, for me, that's not, I wouldn't even think about that when I am looking for a missing child. My thing would be, you know, and quote me if if I'm wrong here, okay, I wouldn't even be like, no, I'm not coming in to talk to you police officers right now. I'm going to go look for my child, and you should be too. Here's his photo. Here's where he was last seen. That's all we're going to do right now is go look for my kid. When it becomes, you know, several days and we still haven't found him, okay, then great. Then I'll come in if that is the case. But until then, I'm going to go look for my kid unless you're placing me under arrest.
Well, right. And this, you got to remember, this is end of January in Colorado. It is like 4 feet of snow on the ground. This isn't like Texas where it's, you know, in the 60s, you know, he could live outside for a while. This is like single digit temperatures. This kid.
I mean, it's one thing for you to say, oh yeah, no, look, we took selfies. This was the last picture that we had together. But then when you start adding in, oh, there's time verification, blah, blah, blah. No, are you serious? So then she goes on to say, I explained to them and provided evidence. They had information about Gannon having the key to go out the side gate. Last, they have more in-depth details that go along with this, pointing to who sent the person or why he may have come. Again, I repeat that they have had this initially, and I was asked to keep quiet about it so they could have the best shot at doing their job and bringing Gannon home. The last thing that they needed was a hindrance to their own investigation. I encourage you to think of any suspicious cars that may have been in the area watching a few days prior and keep praying for Gannon.
There were no suspicious cars in the area. The only car that has been seen was her truck. And if you look at any of her news articles, and we'll put a couple links to the videos of her talking, she refers to him in past tense. Not please help find my son.
That's very telling.
Like, she knows, past tense. She's automatically doing it.
Right. We saw that in the Gypsy when she was doing her interrogation video. You know, that was one of the first things they picked up on, was that she referred to her mother in past tense, which meant she knew that her mother was dead, you know, and then she would flip-flop back and forth over and over again. Yeah.
That's what this mom is doing.
So
in the investigation, the law enforcement spent a lot of time inside that garage, taking photos, bringing in special equipment, maybe even luminol testing. They probably did find blood, and then now stepmom is giving them an excuse to why it's there. And then, like I said before, like, also he cut his foot on Saturday, blood enough to leave a blood trail, but she takes him hiking the next day? No. And then, oh, he's so sick that he can't go to school Monday? No. But you take him shopping? I can't with the lies. The lies in this case boggle my mind.
And there's like some different things between the mother and the stepmom have taken place too, right? I mean,
the mom is just really upset about this whole situation. Like, she's not in the state, and there's no answers to where her son is. She's not getting the truth out from anybody.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have said, you know, they criticized Leticia for not welcoming her, like, and then she came back with some stuff about, like, well, you have no idea what the real situation is between the two of us and the family, and that's just in poor taste. You just need to come together. If you were really looking for this child, you just come together and look for your child.
Right. There's hugs, there's crying, there's what do we do to help find this kid? Yeah. There's not that. She's not out there searching in the snow with the other hundreds of wonderful volunteers that are out there digging through the snow to find the boy.
Always bugs the shit out of me. Like, people come and they are willing to help and search, and you just don't. And that, again, was another thing we saw from Madeleine McCann's family, is that everyone else was searching, not the seven of them, not the parents, not the friends, everyone else.
They know. It's because they know.
It's because they know. Well, anyway, let's take a few minutes before we go on and talk about one of our affiliates. Affiliates are just one way that we get to bring you all the true crime news that we do. So we get a little bit of a commission for each one of you that purchases from these, but it's at no extra cost to you. So it's like a win-win for us. So we totally appreciate you guys giving them a try. And this one is one that I think everyone should try out, and we should do it all as fun as like a little group.
Yes. So we're talking about the new escape room that you can have from the comfort of your own home. It's called Dispatch. And if you've ever been to an escape room, they're fun as hell. Right. You really get to know some people who you go with.
Right.
And what it is, it's an interactive serial mystery that unfolds over several months. We love subscription boxes. We all have our favorites. But this one combines the fun of a new box each month, along with our love of solving crime. And obviously you're watching, so your love of solving crime.
Right.
So we'll be unboxing some of these in a few weeks, so please stay tuned. But to get started with your own true crime adventure, just follow the link in our description, and you'll be solving crimes from your couch in no time.
Yeah, I really think it's cool. I had one before, and it's like they come with a box, and it's like all the stuff that you would need for that month to solve something. And it goes on and on over time. So you collect clues and you decipher codes, and sometimes you go onto the internet to search for things. I mean, they're super cool. So I really like this one. So you guys should definitely check it out in the below. And when we get ours, we'll start showing you how to use it. So anyway, okay. So let's, oh God. So you've got the timeline here. Let's go through that.
All right. So to me, and like I've said, this does not add up. So Saturday evening, according to stepmom, Gannon hurts his foot while helping clean the garage because there are some tools. His foot's bandaged. Gannon's fine. But Sunday, stepmom says the family goes hiking at the Garden of the Gods, which, side note, beautiful place. I have a lot of pictures from when I went. Beautiful. So they go hiking. There is photo evidence of the family hiking that day, so there is that timestamp. Yep, Gannon's there. Sunday
Does he
evening.
look? I mean, does he look like he's bandaged or in pain or?
It would be his foot, and he doesn't look it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So then Sunday evening, according to stepmom, Gannon accidentally turns over a candle, causing damage to the rug that is severe enough to possibly require selling a sofa to repair. Stepmom releases a video that evening showing Gannon crying and pleading with Leticia. So this is where it gets...
Wait a minute. What is he crying and pleading with her about? And why is she releasing that?
It just shows that he says that he's in pain, that he's bleeding.
Did she take him to the hospital?
No.
Of course not.
So, but the fact that, like, he turns over a candle, and I've been looking at this, like, it's almost impossible to set a carpet on fire with a candle. Like, it just doesn't do it. So why the hell he knocks over a candle, so say my Bath and Body Works candle falls on the carpet, that it's so bad that you have to sell a couch to pay for the rug? Why is this the emergency kind of thing? But this is where people are like, she was so mad at him for this that maybe she just, like, goes overboard on the punishment for him. The fact that he's bleeding, his foot was fine. He was hiking okay. So he's saying that he's bleeding. What did she do to make him bleed, and why was it being recorded? That's the messed up. And we have the link that you can watch to see him. It's very distressing, so viewer discretion is advised. But so then Monday morning, stepmom says Gannon is too sick to go to school. So possibly he's too injured. She doesn't want to show him to the public. So Gannon has a doctor appointment, but Leticia calls a nurse's line for help. So she doesn't want to show him to the doctor. She just calls the nurse's line. And
then they go shopping.
And so that morning, surveillance video shows that they leave the home in the red truck approximately at 10:15 a.m. And it appears that Gannon may be injured. Like, he's walking differently. It appears that he looks injured. And we have the link for that as well. And then, so according to a Petco employee, Leticia purchases 3 dog coats at Petco approximately 11 a.m. According to that same Petco employee, she returns to the same Petco and purchases additional unknown items at approximately 1 p.m. So this is where I've got my theories. So what did she have to buy the second time? Why did she have to go back? And knowing Tim and I work in the medical field, people without medical insurance use things like fish antibiotics, pet first aid supplies to treat infections and injuries themselves. So maybe at that point, Gannon was still alive and she was trying to treat that injury so she could cover it up. Maybe buy some pet stain remover, thinking it would be able to clean up whatever blood or stuff that got on things. But I think she was establishing the timeline because someone else mentioned that she had left her cell phone at the PetSmart the first time and then coming back to get something, but then grabbing her phone again. So she like hid her cell phone on a shelf in Petco.
And so maybe she's avoiding cell phone towers.
Yes.
I don't understand.
So that, because I mean, her in that time span between 11 and 1, they don't go anywhere else. No other shopping trips in between. And the place is only 30 minutes from their house. So if you forget your cell phone, and I did this a few months ago, I always put my phone and wallet. If I don't bring my person, I put it in the, where the kid, you put
with the kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did too.
I left my cell phone in that when I put it like right outside of the Petco in the thing. I'm like, oh my God, my iPhone. And like, I was only like 3 minutes and it was still there. And I'm like, this is the most dangerous thing in my life. Like you, in today's day and age, like this just happened 3 weeks ago. When you know where your phone is.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, is he with her in this second? Forgive me, because I have not got to research this case as much as I would have liked to. Is he with her this second time that they go to PetSmart? Do they see him?
No, they don't. And so then the surveillance video Monday afternoon, stepmom comes home in that red truck around 2:20 p.m., but it's unclear whether Gannon was with her. If you look at the video, it doesn't look like he is. But the video captures only the driver's side of the truck. It reminds me a lot of the Chris Watts.
Mm-hmm.
Damn you, Colorado, what's happening with this? And so we've got the link for that. Monday afternoon, according to stepmom, Gannon leaves home between 3:15 and 4 p.m. to play with a friend, but she doesn't know the name of the friend.
Okay, wait a minute. So this boy has cut his foot.
Mm-hmm.
He was bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
He turned over a candle,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so badly burning that she has to sell this freaking couch to pay for this rug.
Mm-hmm.
He has a doctor's appointment, doesn't go, but miraculously now at 3:15, he's good to go to a friend's house. No burn, no cut foot. He's fine.
Don't know the name of the friend. He's got autism. You're sending your 11-year-old who has
Autistic
special
child
needs
to someone you don't know.
And there was no friend. None of his usual friends' parents reported seeing him anywhere on the street, and every kid's parents have said they did not receive a visit from him. So he didn't go anywhere on his own. He didn't go to a friend's house.
And I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't know how special needs he is or not, but it would seem to me that if he was a special needs child, that you're just not letting a special needs child just wander the streets by themselves, even if they're heading to their friend's house. Like, wouldn't it be like, I'm going to drop you off and I'm going to make sure that you're good here, or is so-and-so picking you up outside? What is going on? I can't imagine having a special needs kid and just letting him wander.
Well, and based on the dad's job position, I do not believe that they were on the base in Colorado Springs, which even like that would be the only way I could see, you're letting your kid go to their friend's house because you're on base. It's safe. There are the military police is there. Everybody lives right next to each other. Like, I've been on that base. It's very secure. But that would be the only way I could see that even being remotely okay. But I don't think they're on base, and so you're just letting your kid go to someplace you don't even know where they're going.
So, okay, so this makes no sense to me either. So if he's not at any of the friends' houses that he normally goes to, he's nowhere that he normally is, and she didn't know the name of the friend, then how would she know approximately at 6:55 that he was missing? Where would she have, if she didn't know how to get she didn't know the friend's name even, how would she even go to look for him to know that he's missing?
Right, did you call all of his friends and nobody was there, like he wasn't there, and then you're like, well, I don't know where he is. Were you out searching the streets for him? Like, maybe he fell and got hurt, anything. But no, she just calls, and then at 7:32 he's entered into the national and state databases. To me, this is a stalling technique in the first line of defense as soon as an indefensible situation. Every day that goes by of decomposition, including Chris Watts, Matthews, Peterson, Casey Anthony, the longer the body has to dissipate and the more difficult it is to define a true cause of death. Barring broken hyoid bone, obvious skull fracture, deep nicks in bones, bullet hole, or left behind fragments. So what that means is that she's just trying to stall and say that he's missing, so that way when they do eventually find him, they can't determine exactly the cause of death. Because then her attorney could say, well, it was accidental and, only charged for second degree.
Well, and this okay, so you've got some questions here, and I'm sharing these questions. Like, say if Gannon hurt his foot on Saturday, How did you go hiking on Sunday? And then this one is the big one for me. So if Gannon was too sick to go to school on Monday, why didn't he go to his doctor's appointment? Because, okay, look, I battle this every day with my daughter's school, and I have with both of my two younger children. Both of them have had serious problems. My middle daughter had, she had migraines and vision problems and panic attacks and things like that. So we had to get like a special note for her. And then my youngest daughter, we're going through this right now because the school actually lost some of my parent notes. So now we're on like this whole thing of like, oh, we have to go to the doctor every single time she has a panic attack, or she misses she's taking her medication and it hits her wrong, or what have you. We have to then talk to the school and go to a doctor's office and get a note. Like, it's not the days like it was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, your parent could call and be like, hey, she ain't coming in, bye. And no explanation, no nothing. School was like, okay, that's fine. As long as your parent called or wrote a note. Now
Yes.
It's not like that.
Well,
You're just not taking this child who was sick enough to not go to school and he had a doctor's appointment. You're not going to get the doctor's note? What?
Wait, it doesn't make any sense. Like when I was in high school, I'm always sick all the time. Like I got swine flu when that happened in 2009. I got pneumonia every year. Very sick, still sick. But when I would be sick, or so I'm in Wisconsin, when it's like negative 20 degrees outside, I would take a personal snow day. And so my dad would my bedroom's in the basement, so he would open up the door if I wasn't out there ready to go. And he's like, are you going to school today? And I'm like, no. And he's like, are you really sick, or do you not want to go to school? And I'm like, I'm either sick, so my stepmom had to be careful with my brothers, or I just didn't want to go. And he would call the school for me. And like, I would miss, probably 8, 9, 10 plus days of school. Like I didn't ever have to get to the point of where they give you that like warning, if you miss 3 more days of school, you're going to get a ticket.
Right.
But like I still got A's. It's not like I was missing out on my education. It was just I know.
I've been in an argument with the schools forever. It just irritates the hell out of me. And I'm not to say that you shouldn't go to school, but I think that they have taken the exact opposite approach of now they have cracked down so much. And one of the things that I said to the lady was, I'm like, okay, so let me explain. Let me get this. So you have how many kids in this school? Because we live in a very small town. And I'm like, there can't be that many children that are in jeopardy of being, truant or whatever. And if you are seeing that my daughter is going home for panic attacks and vomiting from her medication, don't you think that maybe at that point in time, maybe you should give me a call and we should talk about this? And maybe instead of just sending me home a letter that says, hey, you're screwing up your kid's life, like, basically, it irritates me. I have been around and around with this, and I finally found out that there was like a way for me to fill out some sort of medical forms, have my doctor sign it for her so that we could not have to deal with this. But nobody ever suggests that. They just, honestly, they give you crap.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't imagine that this school would just be like, that's all right. You don't need a doctor's note. Because
right, I'm sure the school did, and the fact that like he had a doctor's appointment, like that was scheduled. Somebody called, made that appointment.
And I'm sorry, I know even my mom was old school. I don't give a crap if I told her, Mom, I just don't want to go today, or I was really sick. Any which way you shook that tree, I wasn't going anywhere that day.
No,
I wasn't going grocery shopping. I wasn't going to the school. I wasn't going out to play with friends.
No video games.
January in Colorado, and an 11-year-old child is just wandering the streets sick with a bum leg. Are you shitting me? No.
And if he was too sick to school, why didn't he go to the doctor? Why is she taking him shopping? Did Gannon come home Monday afternoon after the shopping trip? Video kind of says no.
Where the hell is his phone?
Right, if Gannon was too sick to go to school, why did he leave to go play with a friend? Why didn't he take his phone with him? He's 11 in today's day and age.
Why is he reported as a runaway? Who the hell came up with that?
You're like, I don't know where my son is. He must have run away. Like, is there a note? Was there symptoms that he was planning to run away?
Did you have a fight? Oh, possibly you cut his foot open on purpose? I don't know.
Well, and so then there's a deleted post on Facebook from her But she had posted that if the bashing of her stops, she will tell what happened.
That is exactly what they did in, what case was that I was just looking at? The same thing. This other case. Oh, no, it's the exact same thing that the Idaho case that we covered on Sunday was saying. The same thing. We'll tell you where the kids are once you guys stop speculating and bashing us. What? When did this become a bargaining chip? I'm sorry, I don't want you talking shitty about me. So when you stop talking shitty about me, we'll be glad to produce our kid. No!
Well, we're like, you're admitting that something happened. That's, you admitted it, you crazy. Anger. But so the sheriff's office major crimes unit was called in to assist on January 28th. Before then, it was just a runaway situation. There was an initial report that he was last seen at the Come and Go on Mesa Ridge Parkway near Fountain, but that was incorrect. After reviewing surveillance footage the day that he was reported missing, Gannon's stepmother said that the boy suspected to be Gannon was not him. So this video wasn't him. It was just a false lead.
So then on the 31st, an interview with the Gazette News partner KKTV, Leticia claimed she was initially denied her request for a lawyer by sheriff's office detectives. Leticia also said that her 17-year-old daughter was briefly put in handcuffs when detectives pulled over their vehicle on January 30th. And she claims deputies had guns drawn and told her they were going to shoot her without identifying themselves as law enforcement officers. A spokesperson for the sheriff's office would not comment on the claims, citing the ongoing investigation.
Crazy pants, you. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, why was she even pulled over?
Wait, why would, okay, well, if you're pulled over, then you obviously know you've been pulled over by law enforcement. So how are you saying that law enforcement is pulling guns on you without identifying themselves?
Well, they're putting handcuffs on you, so why are they going to shoot you? How do you...
Wow.
It's crazy pants. But so then in an interview that we're going to post a link to, that's when the stepmom goes off camera to talk to the daughter, and you can hear her coaching her on what to say.
Oh, hell.
Like, I don't understand.
You are?
I am Leticia Stauch, which is Gannon's stepmother.
You've been a part of the investigation since the very first time. You were the last person to see him. Is that right?
Correct.
What did you see when you last saw him?
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about anything with the case. I would more so be willing to talk about how the community needs to have faith and continue to work together and not make these false accusations, like the things that have been said that I've disappeared from the community. I haven't been there to help, but there's lots of reasons behind that.
Reasons like death threats, right?
Right. Death threats are one of them. My family's getting lots of death threats. We counted over 20 some death threats already. Two, my husband's ex-wife is living in our home, and of course I'm not coming home to do these things and to help with the family when I was kind of like told I couldn't. And then many other things that happened with the El Paso County Police Department, you know, and in doing the investigation I was told I wasn't complying. And can I elaborate on that?
Please do.
Yes. So I asked for an attorney during the interview, and I was denied that by them. I was held because they were blocking the door, and I was told I couldn't leave, and that if I would have touched them, they would have probably, you know, said I still wasn't complying, or said I was, you know, trying to run away or something. But during the interview, I asked several times, could I stop the interview? Could I get an attorney? Could I stop the interview? Could I get an attorney? I was denied. I was told I couldn't get nothing to drink. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I mean, it was continuously that my constitutional rights were violated.
And that's why you say that they said then you weren't cooperating with the investigation.
That's why they said I wasn't cooperating at that time, correct.
And why did you ask for an attorney at the time?
Well, I asked for an attorney at the time because there was one individual, there was two really good detectives, and so I'm not, you know, going to talk bad about detectives, but the tactics they started to get when I would answer questions, they try to, they're detectives. They're supposed to twist. The one main goal is to find Gannon. But during that time, some of those things made me feel uncomfortable the way they were saying things. So I immediately stopped and felt like an attorney would help me with some of the vocabulary and things like that I needed help with and understanding some of the things that they were asking.
I'm going to shift gears to what has become a huge online presence of people obviously trying to do the right thing, help find Gannon. But at the same time, sometimes it just feels like rumor mongering. Have you seen any of those comments yourself?
We have. And see, that's one of the main things we haven't been around in the public eye, because I didn't want to expose my family to it if all these things were going on. There was comments about Gannon getting pushed off the hike, and there was comments about this, and that's just not true. I took care of Gannon for the last 2 years in our home because his mother didn't want to do it. And I would never, ever hurt this child. And I know there's some questions out there about, okay, so tell me what happens. That's up to the investigations when they end up letting you guys know, but I've cooperated with them, even to the point that we were held with a gun, and my daughter, a 17-year-old who serves our country in the United States Air Force, who has never committed a crime or done anything wrong in her life, was put in handcuffs over the keys that was in her purse so they could take her car.
And they weren't in there?
They weren't even in her car, in her purse. They were in my pocket.
You originally didn't even know it was the law enforcement officers?
I didn't know it was a law enforcement officer because when he came out, I guess he was putting his jacket on, and it wasn't necessarily his fault. He was adjusting and happened to catch me. But I saw the gun and I panicked originally and kind of thought, oh gosh, I got to, who's this guy? And then once I realized it was the sheriff's office, I was totally okay, but they still had a gun and told me they were going to shoot me. But I was really concerned about my daughter, asking why she was being detained in handcuffs and things like that, when that shouldn't even happen for a child. That shouldn't happen for someone who was standing inside of a store shopping, because we couldn't have any clothes because all of our clothes were here. If we came here and got clothes, we would be harassed. So she went to purchase some underwear and things like that and was put in the handcuffs in the store, and then brought out with men with guns. And that's just not okay. They could have approached me and said, hi, I'm with El Paso County. Can I please get this? Instead of the way that it happened.
I'm just going to check your shot. Doing great. I want to make sure that we're still got a recording, still can hear you okay. Okay, yeah, sounds like we're good. Every once in a while my mic will give out, and I want to make sure that's not going to happen here. Okay. I should try and clarify here. Not necessarily crime rates, but the way that people are reacting online to rumors about you with the search.
Oh yes, wow. The rumors have gotten so bad. I pretty much have been told at least 10 different ways that these people have these conspiracy theories. I guess they watch a lot of law shows and maybe they have all these theories on how Gannon is dead. And that's what they're saying. So I'm like, why are you saying Gannon is dead? He is not dead. We are going to find Gannon. And that's the main goal that we all have, my family has. Just because you haven't seen us, we have that same goal. We've been out searching. My aunt has been out searching. My family has been out searching. We all have been doing that together so that we could protect each other.
How does it feel when not only you have a lost child who you are in care of, but then people blaming you for that child not being there?
I'm just ready for Gannon to come home. Most importantly, for him to see his family. But second, I am going to be so ecstatic when I'm able to say to people that I hope they have a really sincere apology for all these theories that have came out online, for all the things they said that I have done or people have done. And I just want everyone to know that we're going to find Gannon. And I love him so much. I've helped taking care of him for so long.
Can you talk to me a little bit about him? I don't know him.
Gannon is so kind, and he loves to play video games. That's one of his favorite things. He loves Sonic and Mario, and he's always helpful, and he was always so helpful with the dogs around the house, and we have 2 little cute dogs, and he was always like a person I could say, Gannon, can you go do this? And he would do it right away. Sometimes with kids we have to remind them and things like that, and that's okay, but he was so sweet and able to help anyone. He could notice when you're sick and say, are you okay? And such a kind heart.
I know you just said that you can't say anything about the investigation, so you can just say so again if you can't answer this, but is there anything we can hear about the hike? Was there a hike? That just seems like rumors right now.
You know what? Could we bring my daughter up here? Because she can go and say that, she came home from work after the hike, and she can verify that Gannon was at our home.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me. And if she doesn't want to, that's okay, but you're allowed to ask her. Sound okay so far?
Yes. I need Harley. because they want you to verify was Gannon at home after the hike. Because you didn't go to the hike, but you came home from work.
Do you want me to just say yes?
No, just answer the question. Yes, you came home from work and you can verify Gannon was at home. Yeah. I told her she didn't have to be too in depth because she is still, a child. But I want to make sure that someone knows that there's another person to verify that Gannon.
Sure.
Does she need to hold this?
No.
Yes, so I came home later that evening. I was at work, and I can verify that he was there that night.
So there was a hike that you guys went on, but then you guys came home.
Yes.
Where'd you guys go hiking?
Garden of the Gods.
Oh, yes. Okay. I guess when
And then we ate Burger King afterwards, so,
there you go.
yeah.
And then it just was, I'm gonna go to play at a friend's house. And then it was just, I'm off to go to play at a friend's house.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to comment on that anymore, and for that reason is because some things have been turned and twisted, and that was one of those stories you were talking about where people say things. We had to hear things like who would let their child go out at dark and things like that, and that's just why I don't want to answer that. If I had to give, I'm not gonna say that part.
That's okay.
Never mind.
That's right.
I could take that out.
I understand that it gets tricky with
Yeah.
legal stuff. Do you feel like I asked you what I need to? Do you feel like this is going to help kind of turn the tide of what feels like a witch hunt, in my opinion?
I hope. Am I on camera now?
You are
okay.
still.
Okay. I think that a lot of people can see that I'm not missing and see that I am being cooperative, but to me, it's okay that they think those things because the way someone thinks about me, I don't have a problem with that. My main thing is I would never want someone to think that I would hurt Gannon or any of the children in our home because that's just not the case. I've spent my whole entire life working so hard in education. There was even things online that was talking about my education license and I shouldn't even be a teacher, and they just didn't know that. Like, we moved on a military move and I didn't finish out my contract, so I gave up my license in that state. It had nothing to do with any criminal activity, or any of those things, and it just got blown out of proportion on my professional status, and
Do you feel like these are just internet detectives who think they know what they're doing?
it definitely is. And here's the thing that kind of saddens me. It's like, if you're going to talk about someone like that and have a witch hunt out for them, why would you even care, about doing those things? Because this is a child. You're telling me that you're just as mean, you're just as hateful to talk about someone else like that. That's how I feel. Like, we just should not. We should all come together and wait until the end and see what happens, because Gannon's going to come home.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband. We just wanted to add a message to Gannon from my family, is that we love you and miss you, and we hope that you come home soon. And Gannon, I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay. We love you.
On February 2nd, Instant Command moved from the neighborhood to the Sheriff's Office training facility located across the street from the El Paso County Jail, based on information gathered from the investigation. I don't understand what that really means.
Incident Command moved from the neighborhood to the Sheriff's Office training facility. Huh, that's interesting.
I mean, maybe there was too much commotion around that neighborhood, and
Yeah, maybe they, or maybe they needed to be closer to a site that they are suspecting he may be. I don't know. So on February 5th, 4th Judicial District Attorney Dan May visited Gannon's home. Authorities quickly squelched speculation criminal charges are imminent. Oh, and then the Sheriff's Office Crime Lab has been present at Gannon's home on multiple occasions as evidence is collected and processed according to the agency.
And then on February 7th, a remote operated vehicle with sonar and video was used to look for evidence in a small pond near the boys' home. And then on February 13th, the Sheriff's Office said that they are not using citizen volunteers to aid in the searching for missing 11-year-old Gannon. which to me is confusing. Like, why aren't they using them? And I've seen them on Facebook that they are out there searching. So it's weird that the sheriff's office is not using them or helping assist them looking. I mean, they're digging through snow with shovels to try to find this boy.
That may mean that the sheriff's office knows more than what they're releasing.
Yeah, very true.
Maybe they're not searching anymore because they already know.
Mm.
This is very Casey Anthony-ish to me.
Yes.
Oh, there's a pond behind their house. Oh, this is not looking good. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know. If you've been listening to our Good Wives Guide to True Crime podcast, you may have noticed a new look. It's because we have switched our podcast hosting over to Buzzsprout, and we are super excited about there are different things that we can do now with this platform that we couldn't do before. So Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. In fact, we got 2 new ones coming up this last week. So super exciting about that. And you'll also get a great looking podcast website. You'll get audio players that you can put into like your own websites. You get detailed analytics so you can see how people are listening. You get tools to promote your episode and so much more. And they have an amazing blog that I have been checking out because it is so great in helping you to grow and learn more ideas for how to make your podcast better. So the team at Buzzsprout is super, super passionate about helping you succeed. And you can join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Below is a link in the description to try out Buzzsprout. And if you click on it, it will let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. And that gets you a $20 Amazon gift card. And if you sign up for a paid plan, and it helps support our show.
Mutually beneficial.
Mutually beneficial. Win-win situation. Oh, man. Okay. I mean...
The sad case here is that we're dealing with a child that is actively missing. New details are coming out every day. People are out there searching every day.
Right. So continue watching the show for updates on that, as well as check out our Instagram and our Facebook pages. For both Murder by Design and True Crime Wives, we will be updating as we find out things. And I'm sure that we'll probably do a blog post on this too to keep up information going. So we've got a lot of ways for you to check in with us to, follow along on this story. I know that a lot of people are out there, they're painting rocks and they're, doing vigils. And I know that they, Blue Nation. So
and they're changing all their outside light bulbs to blue. People are dyeing their hair blue. There's just a lot of support for Gannon, and we are sending our thoughts and love to him and his family and friends and that whole community. And if anybody in that community or who is affected by this, you're welcome to reach out to us. We'd love to speak with you. You can email us at goodwivesdish@gmail.com.
Yes, we definitely would. If you have any information, please contact the, Colorado Police and Sheriff Department. But if there's somebody who would love to come on and speak with us, we're always willing to let you share your side of the stories and talk. Even the stepmom. I mean, if you have something to say that really proves that, you didn't do this, we'd be glad to listen. And we're really, and we always want to get out the truth. That's one of the things that we pride ourselves on, is making sure that what we put out is very factual and very truthful. And yes, we do give our opinions, but
we do it based on
the facts and that we have. And this one is just so sad. I really hope that it's not what everyone thinks it is, but I mean,
if you are in that area or in general, Gannon is a 4'9" child. He's 11 years old with brown hair and brown eyes. He weighs approximately 90 pounds. He was last seen wearing a blue jacket and jeans. And anyone with information should contact the Sheriff's Office Investigation Tip Line at 719-520-6666 or call 911 if appropriate.
Oh boy, this one is hard. This one makes me sad.
It's heavy.
It's heavy. It's a very heavy one. I always, special needs child, that just, your heart just beats even more, you know. But thank you so much for tuning in and dishing true crime with the Good Wives and Murder by Design.
Don't forget to join our Patreon member club to get exclusive mini episodes, inside documents and pictures from the case, live YouTube discussions, our exclusive discussion group on Facebook, and get some amazing Good Wives merch.
We just put out a bunch of new Good Wives merch. I'm so excited about it. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at True Crime Wives. And for more inside information, check out our podcast, The Good Wives Guide to True Crime, on any of your favorite podcast players. Have a good one from The Good Wives, serving up true crime one dish at a time. Bye, guys.